Davis Hanson is a fellow at the Hoover Institution, and he joins us tonight. Professor, thanks very much for coming on. I keep noticing this phenomenon where the farther behind middle America, rural America, falls, the longer, the death rate continues to rise, the life expectancy continues to fall. The more the people in charge hate rural America. They hate the people who are suffering the most. Why is that?
I don't know. I'm speaking from rural America, and I can tell you that it's phenomenal when you see the concrete evidence in an empirical fashion of when you have 3% annual GDP growth or a record low peacetime unemployment or 300,000 jobs created in a year. That's a moral act, Tucker. And the Latino population, I live in a community that's 90% Latino, is at record lows, and you can see it. People are upbeat, they're working, they have more disposable income. But rather than fixate on that or even critique it, we get back to this, not just that Trump is a Nazi, and by the way, both of those clips, the speakers had called Trump and his supporters in the past Nazi-like, but it's an attack on people, and I thought that was the whole purpose of the politically correct movement. You don't stereotype an individual by demonizing an entire group. And then we've got to remember that this is not new, Tucker. All Wilson was doing was rechanneling, I think his name was Caputo, a political reporter a couple of months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, went to a rally and say that one person had more teeth than everybody in the rally. You remember Peter Strzok saying that he went into a Southern Virginia Walmart and heard he could smell the Trump reporter. And we have another FBI person in that same text trove that said Trump supporters are POS, pieces of blank. It's kind of the underbelly of the deplorables, irredeemables, and clingers that Obama and Clinton used. And it's really ironic because they're very elite themselves, and they think that by making fun of poor white, and they're mostly poor white working class people, that earns them an exemption from their own privilege as being privileged elite white people.
Exactly.
And then people like Hank Johnson believe, and remember he called Israelis termites, channeling Farrakhan. They believe that they're exempt because they have victim status, so they can say whatever they want. But it's a sad commentary when the entire political correct movement, which was designed to not use offensive speech to stereotype people, turns out to be nothing to do with principle but power all along.
But have you ever seen, so you're a historian, have you ever seen a revolution aimed at the people below? Aren't most revolutions from below trying to seize power from the people in charge? This looks like the people in charge trying to suppress the people who don't have power.
Yeah, I think what we have is we have a Versailles aristocracy, and they're very worried that people outside the Versailles, the gates of Versailles are getting restless, and we actually saw it in France. And I think they understand that whatever they were doing, and that it was a devotion to globalization, optional wars overseas, stagnant economy, this green initiative that was really hurting people in the middle, that a lot of people were hurt by it, and we had created two Americas. They're the winners on the winning coast, and they had to develop some type of exegesis to explain why the people in the middle were not doing well. And rather than saying their jobs were outsourced, or we were offshoring, or we were neglecting our manufacturing, they came up with this self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, they don't have teeth, or they stink, or they're not educated, or they're worried about their manhood. And then that explains, A to Z why they're not doing as well as people in Malibu and the Upper West Side. And people are sick of it. They're sick of it because they're hypocrites. Rick Wilson went around in 2012 in a red pickup, I remember it, and bragged that he carried a knife and he was going to connect with the real people and help Mitt Romney get over his isolation on Wall Street. And so if it paid better, they'd do something else. If Barack Obama wanted to build the wall, and he did at one time, as did Hillary Clinton, then they would be saying the wall is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's political prostitution, and it's sad because we have a revolutionary economic and foreign policy cycle going on that's helping millions of people, and if they don't like it, they should criticize it on the principles, bring facts. Let's talk about the debt. But
stop
anything
attacking
but that.
American citizens. I think it's totally within bounds. I think it's totally fine to attack politicians, including Trump, by the way. But when you turn around and attack tens of millions of your own countrymen, something's really wrong, I think. Davis Hanson, thank you very much for that.
I think so, too.
Great to see you.
Thank you.